With only 3 weeks to go for the launch of the Xbox One X, Microsoft's console is already showing widespread support in games. But why has PS4 Pro taken so long to grow their supported games library? The PS4 Pro has been out a year and it offers higher resolutions and HDR support for 4K TVs. PS4 is already a massive success with over 60 million consoles, with 2 to 5 million of those being the PS4 Pro. Developers have been slow to offer overwhelming support for it. At launch, the Pro in 2016 had 40 supported titles. The Xbox One X will launch with nearly 140 supported games, with half of the install base as the PS4. But here we are a year later, and the Pro has built up a library of some 120 supported titles, in contrast to the 136 supported on the Xbox One X. Sony and Microsoft are using very similar messaging about their newest consoles, even right down to the presentation on their websites. The biggest difference is Sony does not list out their supported games. It will actually be very difficult for anyone to find an actual, confirmed, official supported list of PS4 Pro games. Before we get into that, what does enhanced or supported mean? Enhanced can mean a single feature or a combination of features that push the enhanced games visually and performance-wise over the same game on the base console. For example, Assassin's Creed Origins won't run at native 4K, but it will offer a 4K screen space image with HDR. Some titles, like Rise of the Tomb Raider on both Pro and the X, will offer multiple modes that favor visuals or performance. Let's talk about what the PS4 Pro offers for supported games. The Pro has 4 teraflops of graphics computing, over double the standard PS4, and an overclocked processor to boost frame rates to their stable targets. But for the majority of games on the supported list for the Pro, the benefits stop at higher pixel counts and stable frame rates through a toggled boost mode. Most supported games on the Pro strive for a 4K frame buffer using checkerboard rendering. This upscales pixels across an axis which doesn't look as clear as native 4K, but offers an impressive presentation that is only noticeable in certain places on the screen. Also, most supported games on the PS4 Pro do not offer super sampling for those that game on 1080p or lower screens. Because the PS4 Pro does not have enough video graphics RAM, 4 versus the 6 that developers have said is required for true 4K gaming. Because the Pro is short on RAM, the visual benefits stop at higher pixel counts, averaging at around 1600 to 1800p on Pro supported games, a couple of million pixels short of native 4K. Checkerboarding makes up for that shortfall quite well, but the PS4 Pro doesn't have the proper bandwidth and memory capacity for 4K textures to accompany the up-res games. This is why Rise of the Tomb Raider and Middle-earth: Shadow of War will look so much more impressive on the Xbox One X. Simply put, the Xbox One X has a 60% advantage over the Pro in streaming 4K assets across the hardware to your 4K TV. Final Fantasy XV was recently added to the Xbox One X enhanced list. Both consoles are getting the checkerboard treatment, which seems to be the status quo of large, open-world AAA games. But the developer said that he expects the X version running over 30 FPS, which means they are targeting 60 FPS on console. Something I never expected to happen with a 2.3 GHz processor. The Pro version strives to hit 60 FPS as well, but only tops out at around 45 FPS. This would be impressive if the X tops 45 frames per second, but it's good to see developers treating different consoles on a case-by-case basis. Hajime Tabata of Square Enix said, "The Xbox One X is a highly attractive console for developers, and the list of enhanced games on the X compared to the Pro with an entire year head start backs up the statement that devs care more about powerful hardware and, more importantly, wanting to make the very best version of their game." The talk of parity has all but dissolved as multi-platform games become a better-looking and better-playing game on Microsoft's newest console. The Xbox One X has the advantage of Universal Windows Platform. This allows developers to bring a game to Xbox in less than 2 weeks of work. PC games moving to the Xbox One X can retain some of the powerful visuals generally reserved for mid to high-level PC hardware, like high-resolution textures, filtering, better lighting additions like ambient occlusion, and alpha effects with fewer compromises. Looking at PS4 Pro hardware in comparison, it seems to have the bare minimum to take 1080p rendered games and run them with upscaling. There are exceptions, like more new games a year after launch will offer super sampling on the Pro. HDR is also important to 4K gaming because that wide color gamut and contrast ratio allows 4K images to show their true potential. Recently, Digital Foundry praised Polyphony for their implementation of HDR on GT Sport, a great example of HDR in-game with customizable options. HDR support on the Pro is 1/3 of the titles at 25 HDR games on the PS4 Pro. The Xbox One X has 46 titles. This puts both at around half of the supported games with HDR. So why is the PS4 Pro slow to get support with double the install base compared to the Xbox One? The Pro is a powerful mid-generation upgrade to the PS4 with more power to boost the resolution of games and offer HDR, but in most cases, this appears to be where those benefits end. The Xbox One X is offering true 4K power with some 80 games poised to target native 4K. PC quality lighting, textures, volumetric effects with super sampling, faster load times, and increased memory bandwidth, and full 4K 60 game capture with the latest sound output from Dolby Atmos, all playing on the fastest and most supported service, Xbox Live. Now that the Xbox One X is coming, we could see more game support for the PS4 Pro alongside supported games for the Xbox One X. And if you're on the fence about adding an Xbox One to your gaming hardware, consider this. All games on the Xbox One X will look and play better, with more features, more services, and more ways to play your games. From now until summer 2018, Xbox gamers will be playing Shadow of War, Wolfenstein, Star Wars Battlefront 2, Call of Duty World War II, Assassin's Creed Origins, Sea of Thieves, State of Decay, Crackdown 3, and Red Dead Redemption 2, all receiving the care and consideration for the Xbox One X. This is Colteastwood. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked what you saw, leave a comment and a thumbs up. That helps me know if I'm doing a good job. There are links in the description that will back up everything that I've said here. These are just the facts, metrics, and truths. PS4 has more games right now, so I strongly encourage everyone to game where they prefer. If you like me anyway, you can add me on Twitter at Colteastwood. That's where I continue the conversation. I'll be in the comment section here for a little bit. If you want to hear more, subscribe and check out my other videos on the channel. Enjoy your holiday games, and please, guys, have a good time. Enjoy your gaming platform, and until then, I'll see you next week.